Hi everyone, it's Richard here from lazyprofits.co.uk. Thanks for joining us again. This is number 2 of the videos that are showing you how to analyze your bank statements so your accountant doesn't need to spend as much time on your accounts. And as we said before, the reason why we want to do that is because this is going to cut your bill, meaning bigger profits for the company. And that's why we call ourselves Lazy Profits, because it's a lazy way to increase your profits. So, as we mentioned in the previous video, we showed you how to download the bank transactions from your business bank account. Now, in this video, we're going to show you how to format that file and then copy and paste it into the bank transactions template. And our last one of the series will be to then analyze those transactions. So without too much hesitation, let's get on and have a look at that file we downloaded. So you'll recall we took a download from the bank statement last time, and that can be seen here. And effectively, last time we did the date range from the 31st of December 2015 to the 31st of January 2016. This is our first month in our accounting year. And these are all the transactions with all the dates here listed, transaction description, who it was with, and reference. This all comes out from the bank when you download it, all the way up to here. This was the Co-op Bank. Other banks will have a slightly different format, but they'll more or less show the same thing. Now, the only trouble with this format is we've got the amounts in 2 columns, one credit column and one debit column. And in order to copy it across to our template, we actually need it all in one column. Now, first of all, we've got to work out whether the credit is income or expense and whether the debit is income or expense. They're going to be vice versa. So once we find out which one the income is, we'll know which one the expense is. So if we have a look here, we can see that the first entry here is a credit for £2,500. Now you can see the reference is an invoice. So that's the receipt of money from the payment of an invoice to us. So that's going to be income. Now we can also check, because logically that means a debit should be an expense. And if we have a look at this debit column, you can see a payment to credit card. That's paying off our credit card. So that seems like an expense. And further on down, for example, a cash withdrawal from an ATM machine. That seems like an expense. So I think we're happy. I think we know that credits are income and debits are expense. Now we need to put these 2 columns, we need to merge these 2 columns into one column. So what I'm going to do is put out here just a column. You can call this anything. I'm going to call it column 1 and call this anything. And we're going to put those 2 columns into one column. So, and this is the most important thing for filling out our bank transaction templates, is any income has to be shown as a negative number, and any expense has to be shown as a positive number. Okay, so we will go down manually and complete this column. So the first line here, as we said, is the payment of an invoice. It's income to the business, so we're going to make that a negative number. So I type in equals minus, and I can go across, select that cell, and it will show me negative 2500. Now the next one, salary, it's an expense. And as I said before, an expense has to be a positive number. So this time I'm only going to put equals, and I'm going to select that cell. Okay, it really is that easy. Again, another expense needs to be a positive number, and again another expense, and so on and so on and so on and we can actually drag that formula because it remains the same till this point here. All expenses. Now we get some more income. They're paying off their second, we're getting receipt of income for our second invoice. So again here I put equals minus. I want this to be a negative number, minus 100. Then another expense for 150, so that's a positive number. And then we got bank interest in of 50 pence. Again, income, it's got to be a minus. Okay, and then lastly, an expense. Okay, so again, just to be absolutely clear, income, negative number, expense, positive number. Okay, now you can, once you get the hang of this, or if you've got a few Excel skills, you can actually write a formula to do that for you almost immediately. And the format is going, the formula is going to be minus this one, minus this column, in our example, the E column, so minus E8 plus F8. Okay, and that's because we know that where there's a credit, there's no debit, so it will just pick up minus this number. And where there's a debit, there's no credit. So it will be minus this, which minus this cell, which is 0, minus 0 is 0, plus 200. So it's going to give me that positive number that I'm looking for an expense. So if we just drag that down, that's done exactly the same thing in a fraction of the time. But again, the income's showing up as a negative number and expenses are showing up as a positive number. Can't say that enough to you guys. You have to remember that, okay? All right, we're now going to copy and paste this into our bank transactions template, and a link to this template will be shown below the video. So here's our bank transactions template. I've already selected month 1, so we're now going to go ahead and populate this template. Okay, so the first thing I need is the date. You'll see it here. So we go back to our transactions, we select the date here, and then we copy. Now the shortcut for that is Control C, or you can select it from the menu above. But copy that, go back into our template, and now right click and then click into that cell and Control V. Or you can undo that and just paste from here. Okay, there's all our dates in. Okay, the next thing it wants to know is the item. And for the item, I'm going to take the cell that gives me the most detail on what this item is. Now the description, you can see, doesn't really give me anything. The bank reference gives me maybe a little bit more, and a little bit more usually than the customer reference. In this case they do look the same, but usually I would pick up the bank reference. So we'll take that cell again, Control C or copy. Okay, back into the bank transactions and paste. Okay, now invoice number we'll fill in as we go through this, so don't worry about that. And the last column we need is the gross amount. All right, so again we go back into the bank transactions, sorry, wrong file, go back into the analysis, we take this final column which we just populated, and again Control C, back into the analysis file, and then in this gross amount, always in the gross amount, we're going to paste that there. Okay, and that's it. We've now got all our transactions in, and we're ready to start analysing these transactions to help our accountant when it comes to the year end. So the last thing for me to say is thanks for listening. My name's Richard from lazyprofits.co.uk. We'd love you to subscribe to the YouTube channel. You can do that from the links below if you're enjoying what you're hearing. All the links to the files we've been using will be in the notes to this video. And thanks again for joining us. and we very much look forward to seeing you on our next video, which will be analysing these transactions to once again help our accountant come the year end, and more importantly save us our accountancy fees. Speak to you then. Thanks very much. Bye.